All right. Good morning, cyber friend. Good morning. This old Mitty man coming at you again with morning motivation. And I'm glad and say that we give God all the praise and glory. We thank Him for life, health, and strength. We had a pretty rough morning. Even from last night, I was having some issues and some little old bitty aches and pains. I was having just a few, and tried to, when it comes up like that sometimes, I have a hard time trying to rest. So really and truly, Minute Man have really not had too much sleep this morning because I'm always up late anyway. And I tried to I tried to lie down last night around about 12 something. So I wanted to, because I'm an early riser. But nevertheless, I have not really had any rest at all. So I mean, I just got a little, uh, not on in sleep. I just sort of like sat here in this chair. I was back in this chair at 3:30, and this morning, and I was up again at around 7. Just still, just didn't really get the kind of rest that I wanted to have. But nevertheless, we feel pretty good right now, and we thank God for life, health, and strength. Thank God for each and every one of you. Look at the title this morning. It said, without Jesus, without Jesus, we can do nothing. I wanted to say that because that's a true statement. That's a true statement. And I wanted to get that morning motivation in this morning. And matter of fact, just to let everybody know that I got my little mug of coffee sitting beside me down here. So if you see me bend over and reach down, that's what I'm getting. Um, we got something. We got a word we call integrity. 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 When we use that word a lot of times, we use it in the contents of the authenticity of something. Matter of fact, like gold or silver or whatnot. But integrity can go even beyond those meaning. In other words, what what is your word? Do you have any integrity in yourself? People, when people cannot count on your word, you have no integrity in your word that you say and what you speak. That says something about you very, very powerful. In other words, I've always wanted people to count on me. Now, what I mean by that, I don't mean this in no way of you supposed to be dependent on me like you would Jesus. No, 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 no. No, that's the mistake right there for the first off, because if you depend on me like that, we are all of us going to be in trouble. I'm not saying that, but if I give you my word, amen. If you ask me something and I tell you that I'm going to do it, Mitty Man's going to try his best to do it. At all costs, I'm going to try to do what you ask me to do. Because that is the integrity that I have with what I say or what I speak. Well, too bad a lot of us, we got to deal with certain people that sometimes that is not. They do not have that same type of integrity. Nevertheless, we don't judge them. Because I'm going to tell you something right now, people. We all dealing with something and some weaknesses in our character that we are still trying to let the Lord build in us. I have them, you have them. You see, we haven't arrived yet. We haven't arrived yet. So therefore, there are some things that God is yet dealing with Mitty Man, and I've been going through it for years. Oh no, not months, not weeks. I'm talking about years I've been dealing with it, and I'm still trying and struggling to a degree with some of the things that I would want not to do. In other words, just like Apostle Paul said, the things that I want to do, those are the things I find out not doing. The things that I don't want to do, those are the things I find myself doing. You have the same problem, people. And don't beat yourself up. And I'm gonna say that I'm talking to Mitty Man too this morning. Let us not beat ourselves up, but let us wholly Let us hold it and cling to Jesus' hand. That's what we need to do. We all getting older. Yeah, I hate to say it, but we all are getting older. Every day we all are getting older. I can remember the time when I was younger, in my teenage days and in the 20s and everything. And man, I could jump and run out the, ooh, good God Almighty, I could run and jump out the gym. Those of you that knew me know I'm telling the truth. That knew me at that time. But now, all that running and jumping has come to crawling and crawling. I mean, really, please. We can't do that. In other words, even when I was in the military, which had not been too many years ago, when I was in the military, cause when I was in my 30s, I was yet in the military, and I could run, jump. I was very physical. I mean, I wasn't. I was in shape. I mean, I could run 2 miles in less than 10 minutes. That was my timing in a 2 mile run when I was in the military. But nevertheless, people, time have progressed. Now we are dealing with, in the church, we are dealing with our fellow man, our fellow Christians and fellow brothers and sisters and everything, and all of us different. And therefore, like I said, we got to deal with each other according to knowledge. And I will be the first one to tell you, I don't sit here and try to judge anybody. No way. Because see, I know what I deal with. And so I'm just telling you, without Christ, we can't do nothing anyway. So if you are trying, and I'm talking to Mitty Man too, if we are trying to do these things in our own strength, well, we're gonna be depressed most of the time because we can do nothing without Christ. He said he's the vine, we the branches. Without him, we can't do nothing. So therefore, this is Mitty Man Morning Motivation today. As I hold this here mug, and this here coffee mug here, my mom gave me this cup. I believe it was last year for Christmas. One of these mugs that she gave me, or either for my birthday or one of them. It was one of the gifts, and it holds all the coffee. You see it. In other words, you make a pot of coffee, and you pour 1 cup, and it just about the whole pot. It just about holds a whole pot of coffee. Believe me. It doesn't look that large, but this thing holds a lot of coffee. So in other words, that's the way it is with us when it comes to the doing of the things of God. We don't look much, but with God, we can do all things. Without him, we can do nothing. So with that being said, we just hoping and praying. We just say, Lord, let us be authentic in our words and our deeds and what we promise each other. Let us try to do it. And in other words, don't say things that you don't mean. Yeah, I mean, that's the simplest way to be. If you know you're not going to do something, don't say it. Period. In other words, we just thank God. You know, like I said, a lot of people talk down on Facebook, but I ain't going to talk down on Facebook. Facebook is real good for what it's for. Twitter and all. Twitter, you can tweet a little bit of tweets in less than 140 characters, I think, or whatnot. And with Facebook, you can advertise and you can let a whole bunch of people know what you're up to and what you're trying to do, and it's a good thing. I mean, I realize that some of us use it wrong, but that's about anything. But you don't just throw out the baby with the bathwater. You don't do that. So, in other words, there's nothing wrong with Facebook, but it's something wrong with the way some of us use it. Now, I don't mind telling some things about what I'm doing here. But I'm not going to tell Facebook everything, my every move of the day. It's a dangerous thing for us to do that anyway, because you never know who's looking at your profile. You telling people where you going on vacation and what time you're leaving and all that kind of stuff. You got to be careful with those things because it's some bad folks on Facebook too. And most of them, they find out you ain't at home. Well, I don't have to say no more. So let's be careful how we use it, but don't stop using it because of people using it in a bad way. You just don't use it in a bad way. I don't talk about Facebook. I know that a lot of stuff goes on Facebook, and a lot of messages be placed on Facebook and stuff, and I put stuff up there myself. So I'm not gonna be the last one sitting here and try to criticize something that I use too. I'm just saying let us use it correctly. Let us use it right. And therefore, we won't suffer any heartaches behind Facebook. Let's not be slandering people's name on Facebook. Even if you call yourself know something, Don't put people business up there like that and scandalize their name. Because I mean, you know what? We all got some skeletons in our closet. You wouldn't like for anybody to put some of your skeletons up there. So don't put nobody else's skeletons up there. Let's use it right, people. That's all Mitty Man is saying. And I know some of you gonna criticize me, but that's all right. I take it with love. But I'm gonna still say what I feel is right. And I feel that Facebook and Twitter and all the social media, that is something as of 25 years ago we did not have. And I think it's a good thing. God give us this technology to use it to our advantage, not our disadvantage. So, you know, let us stop talking about each other about how much they using Facebook. Well, you find you a use for Facebook and use it too. Find a good way to use it. It's good. Like I said, you can reach a lot of people very quickly. So let us just do what's right, people. Let us do what's right. And just remember that we can't do nothing without Christ. And let us keep, like I say, this here past night, this past morning, I've got no rest. It's just like, well, really, it's almost like I've not really been to bed. I just kind of just stretched across it and just tried to get a little rest, body rest. That's what I did. But I have not really turned in yet. Not really. But we thank God as well as it is. Before I go, I just want to let everybody know that we're going to have a memorial service for my buddy and my family member. As a matter of fact, his family member, my great-grandmom that raised me, and his mom, they were first cousins. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what my big mama told me years ago. And his mom's name was Mom Francis. And Mom Francis and my great-grandmom, they were first cousins, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I know they were close kin. And we're going to have his memorial at my home church, at our home church, matter of fact, because it was his church as well. Brother Charles Smith. I know that's what he was known as on Facebook, was Charles Smith, and his name and the other word. But all of us call him Charlie. We call him Charlie. And matter of fact, he was a good friend of mine as well as family member. And we did a lot of things together. All of them went good. We all of us got a past, people. That's one thing I want everybody to know. That you hadn't been saved all your life. Neither have I. And but we had a good time when we thought we was having a good time. We drank together, and all of them wasn't Coca-Colas. We drank some gin too. We just being real, people. And we used to get together, and him and my cousin Johnny Jackson. And those of you that know Queen at our church, she's the kitchen superintendent. She's the director of the kitchen service there, food service at our church, and her name Queen Jackson. But that was my cousin's wife, in other words, and so she's my cousin still, because her and Johnny never did bust up. They was always together. Matter of fact, Johnny went on a few years earlier than Brother Charlie Smith, but me and Johnny and Charlie used to get together, and we get to drinking that gin, and boy, we get to singing gospel. That's what we used to do, and we could sing pretty good together. We used to have the flow, and I ain't gonna go there. But at any rate, I remember my buddy for the good time we used to have. At least we thought we was having a good time, because see, like I said, brother Charlie Smith, he knew about the church too. He wasn't no stranger to church. He was raised right. See, I know the family. Sister Anna Mae Joyner, and that's his niece, and Sister Lily Bell. They knew about the Lord. They was raised in the church right there in Antioch, all of us. So we just saying that we're gonna have his memorial on the 21st, which is this Saturday at 1 o'clock. And after that, we're gonna remember him for the way he was. Charlie was all right with me, always will be, and we just saying that y'all just, if you can, kind of holler at the family. His wife, former wife, is Lois Smith, in other words, Sister Lois Smith, in other words, and she had 2 kids in that union, and Brother Jerome Smith and Brother Kevin Smith. So you just keep your family in mind and give them a call if you know their number or anything. You know how to get in contact with them. Give them a call. Give them your condolences and everything. Let them know that you are with them and you're praying with them and for them. So with that being said, Mitty Man gonna get on up and get on out of here now. I got some things I got to try to get done today musically. I'm always working in some kind of music, people. So that said, I thank God for all my classmates, that are still around, and it's so good. That's another thing I like about Facebook. It keep you united, even though through distance with some of your people that you went to school with, that you can still say hello to. You know, people, we can't go back. We're not trying to go back. We never can go back, but we can have memories. In other words, we remember our classmates and see them on Facebook and say hello and hi. Don't go there. You know, I don't try to go there and dig up bones and everything, trying to reminisce about things that better left alone. But what I do is I'm glad to see them being among the land of the living and knowing, and we remember when we was in school how we used to do and everything, and just say hello and wish them well in their family. Matter of fact, don't get there and start stirring up other stuff. Just wish them well. And that's the way me the man using everything. And I'm gonna get on off here. Saying now to the next time, next video, next Bible study, whichever come first. If God ain't in what you are doing, get out of it, because it's gonna come to nothing. Till the next time, this is Really Man saying peace and goodbye.